Welcome to Let's Talk About the Music, Where to Go in Manchester. So we're going to look at the Pier Hat, tucked away in the back streets of the Northern Quarter. It's a great venue that really supports grassroots music. It's been open since 2017 in its current form. There's a great bar upstairs, always a good vibe. You can even buy vinyl, and there's often a DJ playing. And of course, the obligatory smoking area outside, which is a great place to catch up with people in between sets. But it's in the basement where BLEEP happens. This is run by 3 local producers that provide an opportunity for you to play and perform your own electronic music. So this is just a small selection of around 70 acts that have played in the first year of BLEEP. It's a real spread of curated musical styles and instrumental and electronic setups. So in this feature, I'm just going to show you a little bit about what to expect at BLEEP at the Pier Hat.
My real agony is one of impatience. I expect to see one day an art of graphics as a regular daily part of television programming. I am impatient with the probability that to bring this about will require about as much invention, hard creative work.
Let the bass kick.
So I managed to get hold of Alex, Alberto and Matt, the guys who started BLEEP, and asked them how it all came together. Here we have the guys, the legends, my saviours of Manchester music. So first of all, how do I introduce you all? Are we calling you the Manchester Electronic Collective?
Yeah.
Yes, and bleep is something you present. One thing
Mm.
that you present. So tell me, you can maybe Matt, because I think you've got a story. How did all this
Uh-oh.
start? Either how did you meet, or what was the who made the first move?
Who made the first move? As we looked across the room, I think it was Alex actually. It kind of it's all born out of someone else's dysfunction. I think.
Wow,
Yeah,
I like
they
it.
started a meetup group that then they never cancelled, and it
Ah,
was for an electronic music meetup, and so it was just reoccurring every month, and I was going to go to it.
right.
Yeah, and then the host never went, and so someone else went and was like, "No one was there. What was going on? There's no one there." And I think Alex was in that same meetup, or in the comment section. We kind of worked out this meetup's dead.
Yeah, I went to this bar, to the meetup that Matt's talking about, and I thought, I expected to be meeting a host and all this kind of stuff, and just went to the bar and asked the guy. I was like, "Where's this meetup tonight?" He was, people come and ask me this every month. There basically. So I sat around anyway. There's a few more people started turning up, so just got chatting to them. There was about five of us there, um, and yeah, I just kind of thought, all right, well, might as well start our own thing. Why not? Like this kind of event there's obviously a demand for it, so
Yeah, it started off in we were meeting up in the top of Fierce Bar in the Northern Quarter.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so I guess that's where I met Alb, and we were just there's people were coming in and just I guess having a few beers, chatting shit, and then a jam session started to happen fairly regularly. It's every week thinking about it back then.
Yeah,
Hardcore.
Yeah, and this I guess the sort of more electronic heads started moving towards each other and chatting and finding an affinity. Um, and I can't remember how it came about. I think it was again someone else's proactive nature as Alberto. We were talking about performing live, weren't we, or something, mate? And you were like, "Why don't we
yeah,
just like book a venue and do a gig for just ourselves and see what happens?"
yeah. I think it
Ah,
came from like the frustration of not being able to perform because there's so many opportunities for people who have a guitar or singer-songwriters that like in Manchester go anywhere, any bar, they'll give you a stage to sing your songs, whereas there's not really a platform for that. So yeah, and of course there's the EMOMs that I knew and uh, I've been to a few and we kind of did similar to that, just did our own spin to that really, and didn't really
mhm.
want to do the same exact thing, but that the concept just like giving a space for people to perform their electronic music, and especially for like upcoming artists that have got a big gap from like their bedroom to go into like a festival. There's nothing in between, so I don't know. We thought it would be cool to try that out, and my experience is like seeing this meetup was it was funny because like the first two people I ever saw was like were Alex and Matt, and like I remember because I joined in a few months later after they started. I think it was like February March last year, and they must have started a few months before, and I was just yeah, frustrated with my music making process, and I just looked up online and somebody on Reddit said, "Oh, you should come to this meetup." And that person turned out to be Johnny, by the way, which is now the host of Bleep. So it's
No.
like everything comes together. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just remember walking in a Fierce bar upstairs and like seeing Alex and Matt in front of Ableton Push, and I was like, I knew it. Like these are my people. I just knew it, and the
That
rest
is
was history.
well, yeah, but history is still being made as we speak. So, first of all, that's so good to hear. It's like all the things that you know as you get slightly older. Got a big one up coming up soon. But as you get slightly older, you kind of hear about things and like how bands meet and how musicians meet. And I think how musicians meet, I think is absolutely fascinating, and that's why I wanted to like ask you all because like stop me if I'm wrong. You all got together because somebody else wasn't doing it right, basically. And the DIY thing that Alex said is like that is the probably the every time I speak to artists or other people, that's the one thing. It's just, honestly, I hear it so much. I thought that was shit and I could do better. I mean, like, that's my language. It's one of the best motivators, is to just be like, oh man, I can do miles better than this. And there's not many that actually follow it through. So the ones that do is an example of what you did, because every one of you decided to follow something through, and because of that you met each other. And you know, and for people who've, you know, obviously they've seen clips on the show of what my interpretation of BLEEP is, but it's like, you know, I say it in front of you all every time, it's like one of the best things I've ever seen in Manchester, because of exactly what Alberto said. It was like there was it bridging the gap between the bedroom studio to like the festival circuit. And there are people that have played at BLEEP who are now playing in like the festival circuit, things like that. So it's kind of like you did what you set out to do, like, already. And happy birthday, because it is a year.
Thank you.
You.
I have got to say, I think I've been to every one. I had to leave early on 2 of them, but I've been to every one.
Got your loyalty card stamped.
That's it. But so just moving on to that, because that's what I was going to ask. Like, when was the first BLEEP? And the other question was, obviously I know the answer, but what can just describe to anybody who's listening? You mentioned EMOM, and most people love a good acronym. So I think I know what it stands for, but yeah, what was it? What is EMOM? Alex, you can take that if you want.
But yeah, it stands for Electronic Music Open Mic, and it's a very I guess broad category of events. There's all over the country really. I think I've seen Matt play at one. That was the first time I'd ever seen him play live. I'm not sure.
Right.
His first performance, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Wow, you caught his
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like ever? Like your first ever?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
I can tell you about that after Alex is finished. I'll tell you, yeah.
Okay. So, but one thing I will ask you, Matt, anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was, oh, I can't remember which one of you said this, but so you mentioned the EMOM thing, and then you said, but we wanted to put our own twist on it. Which,
yeah,
you know, I'm feeling the twist, but tell like anybody that's listening or watching, what was your twist? Because I've got my interpretation of what it is, but it'd be nice to hear it from you. So, what's your twist?
I went to my first EMOM just after lockdown had eased.
Right.
And it was in Todmorden, which is an eclectic, wonderful, weirdo place in and of itself.
Oh, it's
and I went. It's worthwhile. It's understandable why it's got that reputation. It's a great place. I went to the Golden Lion upstairs, and there was one, and that was my first one.
Right.
I was like, man, I think like you're saying, I'm thinking I could do this. That's what it kind of started making me think.
The cogs.
Yeah, the whirring cogs, and I think that was just about the same time as going to the meetups with Alex and Al. And so then I found that there was going to be an EMOM like 9 months later, but in Manchester, because they're all scattered around the country, so they're not that regular, locally anyway.
Yeah.
Or at the time they weren't, because it was just coming out of lockdown. So there was one in July. So yeah, I decided I was going to set myself the challenge of that's when I'm going to do my 15 minutes. I'm going to get to that stage of finishing tracks, because that's always tricky. Well, it was for me. Get them done, get my set ready. That's my goal. And Alex and Al came. Al had other stuff to do, but he popped down for a bit, showed some love and support. Yeah, and then so me and Alex were there, and we listened to the other acts, and I think we were just sort of nodding to each other, going, I think we could do this.
Yeah.
I reckon we could do this. This could be like, we were sort of sussing it out for ourselves as well, and thinking, maybe we don't just perform, maybe we could also do our own version of it. And I think you were talking about what the spin is. We decided we wanted to curate it a little bit more, because the different EMOMs up and down the country, I guess some of them are curated, some of them just let anyone turn up. We wanted to sort of try and get a certain vibe, I think, or certain style of music, and try and get acts that kind of gel together each night. So it was, I think the reason why was because we wanted an audience. because some of the EMOMs weren't too many people there, and it was a nice space for people to perform. But I think it was a bit challenging for other people to sit and listen to. So we were trying to find that kind of balance between let's still encourage an audience to come and like it's a gig that you want to go to, as well as a place that you can play. So it's
not just aimed at other producers, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's also for people that are not making music but still like to come and enjoy it and give some space and give some thought to some new performance that I haven't seen playing before. So I think that was the main thing. And there was nothing in Manchester as well. That's the thing. There was one every 9 months or something. So we wanted to do our own regular thing. And it just felt a bit restrictive to just do like Manchester emo, because I felt like just doing a branch of something that exists already that wasn't really excited for us. I think it's more exciting to just start something with your own spin and just decide exactly what you want to do. And so you don't feel constricted to like some specific things, and I think worked out really well. And we know Martin Christy, creator of emo. I've read his book; it was really helpful, and he's come to BLEEP. We're friends, and it's a nice, like, we're part of the same community of electronic music makers. It's just a different kind of event around the same topic and within the same community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I was kind of like probing for the it's like the curation, because that's one thing that you definitely feel that. And I really like your Instagram, kind of the way you share the artists that are playing. I mean, it makes sense really. Like you've mentioned the word community like twice, which is like exactly what it is. But like when I go and watch somebody, I was like, oh, what who are they and whatever, and I tried to speak to some of them, and then I realized that obviously everyone takes pictures, everyone tags each other, and it's just like I've never seen that before either. This is new. I mean, not just because like it's a wave of a community of an event that starts and everyone's using Instagram, but it all seems to have fell in place because I think it was like not only could you see who it was, there was like a picture and everyone's comments of each other. Everybody added each other, look what they're doing, and I think that's how I sort of thought was that it augmented the whole sense of community because everyone was following each other. And it's kind of great now. Next time you put a track out, we all know about it, and that's obviously this one thing is you're all music makers, and that's why you got into it in the first place, isn't it? Really. So
yeah.
I wanted to mention the Instagram thing because I think it's been key to the the way it's kind of propelled and people seeing like basically like, what am I missing? Every time you post it, people go, oh, what am I missing down there? And it's like, it's something really cool. There was another thing as well. Have you posted every performance, the audio on SoundCloud, or do you capture it every time?
Almost every time, yeah. We messed up once, I think, but other than that, I think we posted all of them. I don't think we did the first couple. Maybe we didn't get the idea to record them until maybe the second or third.
I think the first one we missed, and then last month we missed because I was ill, so I didn't take the recorder.
Right.
But the majority of them are up on SoundCloud, so people can check out what's been happening.
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of thinking this from any artist that's watching this. I know that you've had people travel from. I mean, you can add to that. I know a singer from Birmingham who was great. She was kind of like this 80s kind of vibe. She was cool. I'll put her name in the comments because she was cool. But anybody that's kind of even outside Manchester, they're happy to apply, aren't they, and come and play. But that's with one thing I'd say to any artist, that if you're interested in doing something like this, check these guys out because you're going to go and play into an already existing community, which, as you've seen from like the videos, it was like Thursday nights, isn't it? Is it the second Thursday of the month?
Yep.
And the first one I went was like November 2022, and it was raining in Manchester.
Yeah.
Thursday night, it was free to get in, which is, gotta say, initially that was a good idea. And then I went in and it's like, wow, this is, and I said it to you a lot of times, God, I thought I was in Berlin or something. It was like really cool electronic music, free admission. about 8:30 on a Thursday night in November. And I went on my own as well. I just thought, I probably know somebody. I never. It's very arrogant, but I did. I think it was UK Matt, and I was like, that guy from User Group, So yeah, you already had a community thing, but it was amazing. I was just like, this is so good, and yeah, so I've never missed it since, and I've brought different batches of friends down to check it out, and yeah, I just think it's amazing, and I keep saying that, but it's really true. So just with that in mind, anyway, and just always any artists that want to play, you get the exposure to this community, and you've got like the SoundCloud stuff, the recording, and you've got this set, so you've got like assets to promote yourself with. It's like,
Yeah.
my set. I mean, I did all right. I mean, I got 187 plays of the set or something.
Ooh,
Like that.
I think you're one of the biggest streams that month.
Well, it was just purely timing, wasn't
Maybe
it?
ever.
No,
I don't know.
and
But definitely that month.
it's because of that wet leg thing. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I tell you what, though, I think this comes out of chats that the three of us have had, because we all make music and we've all got a keen sort of drive to get it out there, and trying to work out how to do that, because it's not easy. I mean, it's just, there's so much stuff out there. And so that's one thing I like about this community, is that there are other people doing similar stuff, and we don't pay the artists to play. So we're trying to give something back, in that we've provided a stage and there's an audience and people will have a bit of fun, and very open-minded audience, I think, as well.
I agree, definitely.
Yeah, and then in like thanks, you've got a little pack at the end of it. Like, we'll give you the recording, any photos we'll send out via email, and a video as well. So the artist can do what they want with that. Then really, just trying to build a bit of something.
It's a service, man. You know what I mean? It's a service. But it's a service to the community, and also the artists themselves, who are a part of the community. So yeah, well, honestly, I've got to say, big up. But any artist there, just get in contact. All the links will be under the video in the description. I'll put some on here as well, so you can see it. But one thing I got to ask is, I'll start with Alberto's on my top left. What's highlight so far? And it can even be playing yourself, because I know you've played twice. Am I right? Have you played twice?
Yeah.
Um,
I think
highlights.
Honestly, sorry, the community is, from the first time, like I remember feeling like I couldn't stop smiling after the first event, like for like 3 days, and I'm not just saying it, like seriously. It's
awesome.
just, I remember going to every single person and almost being like, why are you here? Because like we did some promotion and like we put it on Facebook and stuff, but like we weren't expecting anyone. Like I was counting like, okay, if like all of my friends come, Alex's friend come, like I was counting like, have we got enough people not to make this like an embarrassment? And it was also like a very hard day for traffic, and I remember like weather was not good. I remember walking down the street with Alex, be like, "Oh my God, is even anybody gonna turn up tonight?" And then like a lot of people came, and I was literally asking, like, "How did you find this?" Because I wanted to know. And I met so many people, and then since then, every time it just builds on it, and it's the only place in Manchester for me, especially like coming from a different country, where I can go into that room and I know at least half of the people in there, and being able to have that space. It's just amazing, really. So I think for me, that's the highlight. Might sound cliche, but it's just a big group of friends. Almost every time I go, I know I'm gonna meet so many people. Every person that walks to the door, there's high chance they've been here already, and it's just really nice, because also everybody is just really nice. Sometimes at events you can get some people that just want to create chaos or just want to disrupt the situation, but it seems like this genre of music, this kind of niche where people are like trying to make it in music, but they're not really at the level where it's like it's a zero-sum games. Like if I make it, you're not making. It's more like let's support each other, and maybe this is fostering a better community. But yeah, that's it for me, really. Just everyone that's coming and all the friends I've made.
That's a great answer, man. That's really good. Very good. Let's go, Alex. What are you saying about that? What's the highlight so far, man?
Well, yeah, so far, who knows where we're going? But I think for me, aside from things that we mentioned about community and stuff, just the amount of like unique artists we've had through. We've been keeping some stats and stuff. We've had probably about almost 70 people playing at the event now.
Wow.
A lot of them,
yeah,
the first gig at Bleep as well, which is like an honor, you know, to have so many
yeah.
people playing with us for the first time. So that's that's a joy. And I think apart from that, it's really nice to see people that have met at our event like doing collaborations together. I've heard of a few now where like
Yeah.
person will remix another person's song or someone will sing on someone's tune. It's just it's not all about getting up on stage. There's collaboration going on and there's friendship making and all that.
So, but Matt, for you, what was the highlight? And you've already had two incredibly great answers, so you can be really selfish and personal. And,
Yeah, it's all about me.
It's all about you, this one.
I don't know. I mean, I've thought about this for a long time, and listening to the lads talk there has sort of reminded me of that first night that we did and the anxiety.
Ooh.
I remember there was a bit of panic and excitement about it, but we had the initial idea, it doesn't matter if it fails, let's just do it and we'll play to mates. But secretly, we wanted it to go well. You know, like we wanted it to be really packed. And then somehow it was. And I remember like looking around at Album, like, how has this happened? Like, I don't understand how this has happened, but it did. And everyone seemed to be really buzzing that night. Everyone was like, there's a real excitement. And like we had a little WhatsApp group, and there was another guy, Michael, who does our posters, and he played, and Johnny. And
what's Michael's artist name?
Crystal Maps Techno. Check him out. Yeah,
he's great. I'll put that on as well. So that was just why you mentioned it. He does the artwork, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does the posters for us.
Yeah, that's
big shout out. And yeah, he also does he started doing the Instagram artist profile pics as well. He's snazzing them up.
Noted.
Yeah, I was buzzing for days. I've not had anything like that. I don't think in my life that I've done, where I've there's like massive satisfaction. So that was a big highlight. Yeah, of like, I don't know how that happened. It came together. I think we've started something interesting. And then other things, I think there's sort of that I've like Alb and Alex have said that have been sort of going on throughout the months of just some really cool relationships, like making friends with people, sort of networking and to a degree, but it feels far more connected than that, not transactional like sometimes network can feel. It feels very, like we've said, community orientated. And yeah, making some good friends, seeing people, I never even thought about this, but seeing people who've never played before come, and backstage they're all a bit nervous, and we're just like, it'd be fine, just chill, like we're just trying to calm people a little bit and just be dead laid back, and I guess looking after the people a little bit, and then they'll do the set and the buzzing afterwards. That's really nice. Awesome. And like Alex was saying, we've seen some amazing people playing. That's been like really, really talented people.
I mean, anyone that sort of, I mean, I put what's a highlight, and obviously I'll come back with great answers, but any artists, and it's hard to single people out. So just pick any that like either that did something cool, something weird, something shocking. I mean, I can tell you about but it's about you guys. But yeah, just any just name one each, and just something that's
hard to say one.
I know. That's why I'm asking the question. Because it's difficult, but you can preempt it for a reason, like the reason that I picked this person is because they did this, they did that, they didn't, like you just said, maybe they had a barrier to get over, or they shared that with you and they don't mind being mentioned or whatever. Because let's face it, some of these people, I'm going to invite them on here to have their say. So you
should, yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
who wants to go first? I'm thinking.
I'm happy to shout out Noelle. She's one of my favorite artists. Not even
definitely.
I love her music in general, so it was a pleasure to have her on.
So that's Noelle. Yep, we'll shout Noelle out as well. We'll tag her stuff. So yeah, obviously I've met Noelle through you lot and the Ableton user group Manchester. I'll put that down below as well.
Yeah, she's great. She's on my top tier list.
So just for people who are just listening right now and have not straight away jumped onto our Instagram, just so what's the vibe? What's Noel's vibe? Obviously, I know. What's the vibe? What?
It's pretty I guess like vocal centric, sort of glitchy, electronic, obviously electronic when it comes with the territory, but yeah, just I guess but very big sounding.
Mm.
Every
Yeah,
Expansive. I'd say expansive.
ethereal,
Reminds me a bit of Bon
glitchy.
Iver with the vocal effects.
Yeah,
Ooh,
lots of vocoding,
good.
glitchy beats.
Well, we'll have to have her on then and talk about it and play some music to the people. But yeah, go and check Noel out. Also, got to say, you guys have all played as well, yeah? I thought you may
Yeah.
say one of your highlights is playing yourself because it was your night, and it's kind of what Matt just said then about it's not transactional kind of thing. It's like you couldn't be more right because you're part of that audience too, and then you're part of the performers. So you've all three of you have played, haven't you? At least
Mm.
twice, I think. I've seen you
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta say it. I think one of the highlights of the last 5 years of my life has been playing live, especially the second time I did it. I've had such a good time.
Yes. Yeah, it was quite recently that one, wasn't it? Yeah, only a few
Oh
weeks.
yeah, I really enjoyed that set. I was listening to that the other day actually.
As one does. Yeah, amazing. So I mean, and you played the last time as well, Alberto. Yeah, we both at
Yeah.
the same one.
And Alex was one before, I
One
think.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the one that you played, Alberto, last with the it's sort of like the halftime break towards the end. It was like
Yeah.
everybody just went, "Whoa!" I think I've got that on video. If I can find it, I'll pop it in.
Please send it to me. 'Cause-
Yeah, I'll pop it in now. So the next question is like, what's next? And also, what about you musically as well? What you're working on at the moment? So what's next for the Manchester Electronic Collective as a whole, maybe, or what's next for Bleep because it is birthday time. So I'll let you talk about it. But also, just when you've answered that question, what's next for your music and what you doing over the next 6 months to a year? What have you got any goals? Because obviously this is like this program is about goals and stuff like finishing stuff. And I know Alex has already mentioned that to finish something to get it out live, and you said it as well, Matt. And it's like it's a common theme that we all know about. We've got loads of ideas and we don't finish them, and when you follow through stuff, that's where we all want to be. But so a little bit about that to kind of finish off. It's about I've got three musician producers in front of me as well, so it's like just bring it back to what you're doing. But the last thing is what's next for Bleep. Who wants to go first?
Well, we've recently started our second event, really. Just aside from the Bleep live music, we've started doing more of a social event, sort of just a producer kind of meetup kind of thing. Just for people to just hang out, show each other what they're working on, get a bit of feedback. There's
I've been to the first one, but it's kind of I think you're definitely like you've got the right idea. So yeah, just tell us a bit more about it.
well, the second one was there was a few more people than the one you came to. There was a few more new faces and stuff.
Amazing.
Been advertising it through Instagram and through Meetup again, which is where it all started. And we get people coming through all the avenues, really, like word of mouth as well. Someone will bring a friend, and it's just really cool. I'd see two people that you'd never met before. One of them's brought a laptop and they've got their headphones out, and someone else is just like listening to the music and giving tips and stuff on how to just elevate the production or whatever.
Really good. So what's the name of that one?
Call it Producer Playground.
Producer Playground.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Great name.
I see that will also grow as well. Definitely, 'cause especially maybe Alberto can add to this one, but people do come to Manchester to study music and do things, don't they? It's like we always look at places like Berlin and Barcelona and let's just go there, but people actually come to Manchester to make music. So I think once people get the idea, and I think it's probably good that it started slow and it's manageable, because Bleep was full straight away, wasn't it? It was like so yeah. Matt, what about you? What do you think? I mean, if we'll go around with that question, and we'll come back to
What do I think about what we're going to do next?
yeah, or the future in general,
The
about
future in
how you-
general.
yeah, like almost like a review of what you've done so far, with like where it opens you
Yeah,
to
it's
stuff.
it's gone really quickly actually, and it's nice. We're meeting up at the weekend to have a little powwow and think about what we're going to do. One for the birthday party, and then maybe we can look at our plans for world domination after that.
Yeah,
But there's another thing we are doing with David Felton,
yeah.
DJ Felton, who runs or does the, what would you call them? Like the lectures for the Ableton user group. He hosts them.
He's the user group organizer,
Yeah,
UGO.
he does some great sessions. He's with Spirit Studio. There's sort of like a bit of a collab going on between them and ourselves about doing workshops to get people performing live, like bringing the setup and working out how they can take what they've done in the studio to the stage.
Whoa.
So we did a pilot of that maybe a month ago, and we're teasing out like how to do that a bit more regularly every month, which is cool.
So that's
Yes.
once a month, and
Not officially yet. It's like we
officially.
did a pilot the other month, and we're just sort of trying to pin down some dates between ourselves and Spirit Studios in Manchester, and just take on a couple of people who are curious, like how do I improve my setup if they've already got one that they're gigging with, or how do I even make a setup, or what do I do with this track that's stuck in my studio? How do I break it down, pull it apart? How do I play it live? And David's got loads of knowledge about all that kind of stuff, hasn't he? So
would you say it's like a clinic almost of like?
Yeah, it is a bit like a
I know
clinic.
it's a very medical and harsh word, but it's a time to like share a concept and go through the technical sort of
Yeah, it's like troubleshooting a little bit. It's it's if someone wants to come and perhaps play and experience what it's like to go through the whole setup through a nice big PA, there'd be like 3-4 people there, so it might be easier as a stepping stone. So they could use that time for that. Or like you're saying, they could really get quite granular about, well, what do I do here? How do I get this linked up to this? And it's quite open. It's quite open at the moment. We're sort of fleshing it out ourselves and working out what we can offer and what people want.
Right. Oh, that is amazing. So how would they register their interest? What's the best way? Because
I think that we'll have something available that like a link for people to funnel into. I think that's generally what seems to be happening with all the different things we're doing, that they all funnel. Like you can go to the producers playground or go to Bleep or this. We've all got a website which the link will be available on there.
We can DM on Instagram as well.
Yeah, or come and speak to us at Bleep, whatever.
Yeah, but obviously I'll share all the details, but like the Manchester Electronic Collective is the kind of overarching sort of, I don't want to say brand, but it's the organization, the not for profit organization. But yeah, I mean, so that's kind of where people will get into, because I think that is such a good idea, and it says a lot about you guys as well, because just in case anyone worked it out, no one's getting paid here, and it's like, but these are the people who are here for the love of music, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's not to make money. If we're making money, we'd be buying and selling houses or something. You know what I mean? Whatever these people do on Instagram who earn £1 million a minute or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, just to finish up with that question as well. Anything you wanted to add, Alberto? Because they've said quite a bit, so it's like if there's any more, I'm gonna be like, wow, this is amazing.
I think just looking forward the next year, we got a big birthday to think about, but already just thinking about how we can make it a bit bigger and better, because it definitely works as a format, but there's definitely things we can improve in terms of having photos taken of the event. For example, we did that once and it it worked really well. Like our website for now, it doesn't even show a photo yet. So it would be good to like build the brand a bit more, so it's more appealing, and we can just build the audience even more, because I think it will be very good for artists to have even a bigger platform to perform. And so maybe we can at some point even consider other kind of events like we did this summer, and with a different kind of audience. And yeah, just trying to improve it, because I'm very happy about what we did. And I said I was really I couldn't believe what we did after the first time. That kind of person that already like the second time thinking, okay, this needs to be better. So yeah, we're just trying to think about new things for the 2024.
Amazing. Well, I can honestly say anybody watching that, it's already really good and it's already really cool. And if you're even thinking about, I really need to play and get out there, then apply on the website. It's the top right on your website. I have actually got it to show, but I'll slot it in afterwards. But yeah, do it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I say
Or
this.
if you're not in Manchester or even in the UK, like start your own, man. It's like
There you go.
cookie cutter, just copy and paste it and build your own scene somewhere. It's worth it. It's great.
You heard it first. Honestly, I mean, like
Do it.
obviously for some people outside the UK, this will be how they'll be discovering it online. So they think, hopefully they'll get a vibe from this, and if they tune in again next month, there'll be an artist that's played at BLEEP, and we'll talk more about that as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously you guys are going to get featured on the show for the foreseeable future for a long time, because electronic music is a part of what I want to feature on the show, but it's not the only type.
Sure.
So, but it's just like, yeah. So every week there'll be something Manchester Electronic Collective featured, because it's a big part of what's going on out there. So it needs to be seen. So with that in mind, switch your bleep heads off and just talk about your own music. So what you're up to next, what your plans are, what any kind of like where your head's at with making music as well, because I know a lot of people watching this, it's kind of like, oh, well, you're already good, you've got stuff on Spotify, but we Matt and I were at one of Mr. Scruff's sessions at CDR, and it was great to hear someone who I would say is a household name, Mr. Scruff, isn't he? And he's the real deal. He's just a real successful music maker, songwriter, producer. And we got to hear him chat. I'll ask him if he'll come on here, but we got to hear him chat, and it was just like great. He was just totally transparent, wasn't he? And really,
Yeah, I really got a lot out of that. It's really cool.
yeah, me too. I just thought, what a guy. And he just talked about just the process, how he got there, his attitude. So, I'm not saying do a full CDR here, but just like tell us what you're working on and where your head's at, how you're feeling about music right now. Are you like energized? Are you tired? Are you trying to get things done? Are you, whatever, just so. But I'm going to start with Alex, because I'm just working around my screen and it makes more sense.
I've sort of just recently got back to writing after sort of 6 months of working on my live set, from the first time I played BLEEP in, I think, January to the latest one in July or August. I just spent that whole time not really writing anything new, just sort of trying to get my live set like refined. So I'm back to writing again, and I think my style's a lot different than it was last time I put stuff out. Like, if anyone checks out my Spotify, you'll see stuff from like over 3 years ago at this point. It was my last stuff that I've put out. So I'm going in two directions at the minute. I'm going sort of in the sort of BLEEP influence direction, that I've started doing a bit sort of more heavier, dancey kind of music. But I'm also going in an opposite direction as well, where I'm going a bit more ambient, and I've been writing a bit of poetry and stuff. So I've been working on a bit of like a spoken word thing recently. So yeah, I don't know. I've never really known where to go. I just go where the song takes me, really.
That's awesome, man. Honestly, I think that's great when you said you putting things in two different baskets, because I'm like that, and it's like I can have like really electronic, hard, heavy, whatever it is, and then I can have like really chilled out. It could be piano, it could be acoustic guitar, whatever, and it's like you said, it's what comes out, isn't it? And I think too many people put pressures to like, oh no, you can't do that. Just concentrate on one thing, which might work for some, but not everybody else. So good to hear that. Good to hear. I like it. Matt, what about you?
Um, yeah, listening to Alex actually, it's making me think that after doing more bleep stuff and going to bleep has managed to get me more gigs in places. Um, that's pushed me to try and make new stuff that would work within a set. So it's really focused my music to being a bit more dance floor orientated and the same BPM.
Yeah.
So it's a bit all over the place. And much more techno orientated, which is what I like. Um, yeah, so it's made me up my game a little bit, I think, and taking it a bit more seriously. So I've got a load of stuff that I've been meaning to finish, which I've finished, which is great. So I've got that done. Unfortunately, my studio has packed away for quite a few months, but I've just moved into this place here, which is Ebo Studio. I moved in May. So I managed to set my stuff up again. So I've just been going through all the tracks that I wanted to mix. So I've got quite a few things that I want to release now. It's
Good.
just what to do with those. But it's been great because I've been able to test them. I've been out to like take them out to venues and play them and see what works and go, oh right, actually that just worked without having to do loads more to it. So doing that, very kindly of Noelle, she put her stems out of her latest release. So I mangled those up a bit this week. So I've done a remix of that, which is quite good fun. And then doing some more ambient based stuff because I've got a gig in Ebo Studio on the 26th of October, which is
A Thursday.
yes, it's all very chilled. It's like I think it's called Recliner is the event. So it's all
Whoa.
there's other sound artists in Ebo Studio. So we're all doing like an event for that. So I'm just making some ambient stuff for that, which is cool.
Mm.
So yeah, release is coming up hopefully in the next before the end
Yeah.
of the year. I'd like to get another one out.
Right. Well, I'll always post and share, guys. So send them
Thank
to
you.
me. Alberto, what about you?
I have three big goals for 2023: playing live because I've never done that before, building even the smallest, tiniest audience, and putting a track out on Spotify. So I'm really proud about the playing live part because I definitely did it. I still can't believe it happened, but it did happen because there's pictures and videos of it, so it did happen.
Very much. Yeah.
And the Spotify part, I'm working on it now. One of the tracks that I played, I must say, it's great that you're able to try them out in front of a live audience and see what works and what doesn't. So one of the two new tracks I played, the last set, will become a single by the end of the year. And I'm saying it now, so I'm committed to it.
Yes.
And then, and then on the audience building part, it's just a bit of a game almost. I think it's a big job, like marketing as a musician, and it's a whole thing. And within the limited time that we all have with our all day job and bleep and all of that, there's not much time left for marketing because you already take a lot of time in making music. But it is a challenge that I want to try and like not just think, oh, I'm not really good at Instagram, just leave aside. But I've tried making some reels, seeing what works, what doesn't, what works for me, really what feels true to myself without just putting things just because they make views of because I would hate doing that. So that's my next challenge, I think, becoming good at marketing in a way that feels good to myself and just sharing more online so I can hopefully build a tiny audience. So at least next time I put a single out, it's just not my friends that listen to it, but somebody that I don't know, which is, I guess, the ultimate goal.
I think like there could be an element of you like guys at Bleep almost taking on the role of what a record label used to do back in the day. But I don't mean the distribution. I mean the live aspect of it, which is kind of well the only bit where really artists would make money performing at some point. So I suppose you're kind of doing that. If you help each other out and if people, not everyone's going to like every style of music, even within electronic music. But I think from being in the audience at Bleep, it's all very, I can't remember which one of you said it, but it's like people are quite receptive and understanding. So like, I think all of us have probably had a bit where you've pressed something and it went wrong, but only you would know because it's so like people don't know because they're still learning your material. But it's like I think you've created the sort of, like you said before, I think it was Matt that said, backstage, like people are getting a bit nervous. It's, oh yeah, you'll be all right, because because you were the ones who set up the audience in the first place and the idea, but that's what you tried to create, this kind of, oh, just try it. Because to be honest, I've seen some pretty wild things at BLEEP that I never thought I'd see. And but it was like, yeah, everyone's different, everyone's got something to say, and I mean that in the nicest non-sarcastic way, you know. But yeah, if you're watching this and you think, God, this sounds good, and these guys are amazing, it is. So yeah, come and check it out. So obviously all the links will be there, but it's generally the second Thursday of every month. That's the basic idea. But everybody just check the website, and Instagram's the place for sure, because you're pretty good at updating that, aren't you? That's kind of the one that everyone's got to like see. So amazing. So thanks for joining. And honestly, I always say this, that I'm a big fan, but I really am. I think it's something really special you've done, and it's nice to hear, and for everyone else to hear, like a little bit about what happened, because I do think it's magic. It's like, this is real. It's kind of, you got to celebrate the successes, because it's like, this is, I said this, I think it was Matt that I bent his ear on the first one. I'm like, mate, you're doing something so good here that no one's done. And it's like, you know what I'm like, there's no off button. So
I think it's not just us. I think there's like, I do think that there's been a need for it.
well, but you filled
You know,
the need, though.
Sure, but I think with the
vision.
lockdown, everyone went a bit nuts. People were like squirreling away, working on stuff.
Yeah.
Isolation kicked in, and it's like now we're all allowed out to party and play, and there's not been somewhere, so it's like it sort of opened up this little chasm of people who are like, I've been waiting for this.
Yep. That's how it feels. It really does feel like that. So well done, lads. Honestly.
Oh, thanks for your support, man. You're always very
I will
positive and supportive. I appreciate it. It's great.
I never shut up about it, honestly. You can just ask anybody who I'm working with. It's like, he's always on about that. I mean, but I work with people up and down the country, so it's like, yeah, they're all looking at Manchester, so let's show them. But yeah, thanks so much for joining and willing to be part of this. And
thanks for having us, man.
It's great, honestly. I think what you're doing is amazing, and it's, like I said, it's really, it's filling that void you talked about, and it's like, for anybody listening, just check it out and see if, I think on your website you said you can perform, you can submit your music to be played through the PA, so you get a listen with that sort of CDR vibe. Where you can kind of get your music listened to, and you hear it through I've done that a couple of times, to be honest. It was great to check a mix. But then the other bit is just come down and be part of the audience, because there's people that I've seen and I don't know the names, but I could like point them out in a lineup sort of thing, like, oh yeah, you've been, and like yeah, you've never played, but you're always here, and like, you must be a big fan. And another guy that he was there for like 4 or 5 weeks, I was like, he's gonna play one day, this guy. And he came, and it was the Heaton Norris guy.
Vessel Automatic.
Oh man, and he just blew the roof off. It was amazing. Yeah. It was like,
that was a curveball.
Shout out, by the way, because I loved it, and I'm just telling you. And he just did this set, and it kind of built and built and built, and it was proper like roof, turn the roof off. It was like, what? So yeah, it was amazing, guys. And as always, just like, yeah, keep up the great work. And it's going to be packed next time you go. You'll be like, oh, Simon, why did you shut up? Don't stop talking about it. It's just
great.
No, onwards and upwards, guys. So thanks for coming on. And yeah, let's catch up again soon. And let's catch up with the birthday do for sure.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Amazing.